Hey everybody, Dano here from Everyday's Turkey Day, and right now I'm going to go over a list of 5 games that need to make a comeback. So number 1 is Boombots. This is by the same people who did Oddworld and Clayman, and Clayman is actually one of the secret fighters you can get in this game, unlocked. But Boombots is basically just a fighting game. It has a clay style to it, like everything was made with clay. And basically you're in an arena, you have projectiles, you have like punch moves, and there's like little gold orbs that you go around the arena collecting, and that helps you build a super. And then once you get your super, you have like some kind of crazy ass attack that does a lot of damage. Now I think this would be really cool to come back because, you know, it's unique. If they still did the claymation kind of style, I think that'd be fucking awesome. In this day and age, no one's really doing that kind of shit anymore. There are some things that definitely need to get revamped in the fighting system, as this game is kind of dated, you know, which is no surprise being that it came out like a long ass time ago. But yeah, I think this could really make a comeback, especially in today's fighting games that are really kind of bland and repetitive. But anyways, next we got Tony Hawk's Underground. Now Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is the most recent Tony Hawk game, which I didn't play mainly because the reviews and, well, it looked like shit. It looked like it wasn't finished. It looked like the mechanics were all fucked up. I mean, it just didn't look like the Tony Hawk games that I grew up on. And the reason why I said they should make another Tony Hawk's Underground in the vein of the first one, not the second one, is because, to be honest, that's like one of my favorite games of all time. It was the first time you could actually get off your board in a Tony Hawk's game. It had an actual, like, legit story, which, you know, looking back as I'm older and, you know, not a teenager, which I first was when I played this, you know, it's kind of corny in some spots, and, you know, not the deepest of stories, but it actually was cohesive and pretty fucking fun to play. And so I think if they brought back Tony Hawk's Underground and made Tony Hawk's Underground 3 with the same kind of story of, you know, you're a kid from, you know, an industrial city or, you know, wherever the fuck, but, you know, kind of, you know, some no-name guy who then has to make his or her way up through the ranks and, you know, to become a pro skater. And then, you know, you could choose different shoe deals, different, you know, board deals, all that type of shit. I think it would be really good, and I think it'd be really fun. Or if they actually, you know, maybe even just did a fucking HD remake of Tony Hawk's Underground, but with a different company that made the other HD remake and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. That'd be fucking dope. But moving on. Next one, Def Jam Fight for New York. I think they need to make a second one. This was also one of my favorite games, you know. It's another fighting game, and it has like a unique take where they put a whole bunch of Def Jam rappers in it, and it was actually fun. Like, and the story was fucking amazing too. Like, for a game that's, you know, centered around rappers fighting, the storyline was really fucking good. Like, it had a whole bunch of different kind of match events too. Like, one, there was like a warehouse on fire, and another one you could smash people out of a window and kill them that way. There's one where you fought at a train station, which was really cool. Like, this game was really fucking good. It might be kind of hard nowadays, because the only reason why you could make those games with rappers like that back in the day was that rappers back in the day were actually hard. Like, no homo, but, you know, they were tough dudes, or at least appeared to be tough. A lot of rappers nowadays kind of seem soft and frail, and like, you know, your average Joe could, walking down the street, could just whoop their ass. But at the same time, I think it would be really cool to get kind of a revamped version of Fight for New York in today's day and age. You know, like, maybe they could put Dave East on there. I'm sure they could still put like a lot of older rappers who were first in the game, now maybe is a little bit older. But yeah, I mean, I still think there's a ton of people who they could put in the game and still make it fun. Because I played Def Jam Icon 2, which was the sequel to Def Jam Fight for New York, but the whole fighting style was like revamped to where they put in this thing where a song would be playing, and like, depending on what the song was, it, you know, would help one of the fighters. So if it was your song, you know, you get a boost up and you could control the environment and, you know, pretty much have an advantage. But if it was their song, same would go for them. And there was like a way where you'd have to like hold the triggers and then move the joystick, and that's how like you would switch it from their song to your song. Which, I mean, it was interesting at first, but a whole game of that shit was just fucking trash. And especially too, like, in that game, it was something about, you know, building your own record label. which 2 was interesting at first, but a whole game of that shit was just not entertaining. So that's why I think if they went back to the Fight for New York kind of style and did something in the same vein of that, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Next is Fight Night. Now, granted, I'm not sure when the last Fight Night came out, but this was another one that, you know, elementary school, middle school, shit, even high school, like, this game was really fucking fun. And I'm sure at some point they'll probably come out with another Fight Night game. I think UFC, though, has kind of become the more combat sport oriented game of choice now, just because most of the big fights lately, except for really excuse me, McGregor and fucking Mayweather. Well, I mean, I guess there was Canelo and Golovkin too, but you know, a lot of people aren't really paying attention to boxing anymore, which is kind of sad, and UFC seems to have taken over. But at the same time, Fight Night's a fucking fun game. As I said, I'm sure they'll bring it back at some point, but it would be nice to make it see it come back, you know? And then, so last for the 5th and final game, NBA Street. Now, this was another game that I fucking loved as a kid. Man, it was just so different, and at the time that it came out, it was really when, you know, hip-hop and, you know, the NBA or basketball culture were kind of converging, you know. I mean, it's kind of been that way for a while, but, you know, early 2000s, that's when it really seemed, you know, with like Allen Iverson, just shit like that, you know. And NBA Street was fucking fun, man. You know, 3-on-3 basketball, you had the different courts and shit, you had the different bosses that you have to face on the courts, all of which had like different specialties. Like you had Stretch, you know, who was like a legend. You had this tall Asian dude who was, I think, supposed to be like a representation of Yao Ming, but he was a tall defender dude, could pretty much block anything. You had a white dude from the Detroit, court, who I think was kind of based on Eminem, but like he was a short white dude who could shoot threes. Like, I don't know, it was just different and really fun. And I really liked the second one too. And I remember they did one that came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, but that one, like, it just lost all its like personality, you know. Like the shell of it was still the same, where it was like 3-on-3 and you still had some core legends, but like just the game was just kind of fucking, I don't know, it was bland, it was boring. It wasn't like the NBA Street or NBA Street Volume 2, when it actually had like personality and, you know, kind of had its own brand. But anyway, so I think they could definitely bring NBA Street back. I know there was some game that came out recently that was sort of like a crossover between NBA Street and it's called like NBA Jams or whatever, that I guess was pretty fun. I haven't played it, but you know, I think if the team, or you know, who was it, EA? Yeah, I think it was EA, who made NBA Street, I think they could bring it back and, you know, capture the nostalgia factor and still get, you know, kids and teens around today who like basketball on that sort of wave. So anyways, that's my 5 games that I think need to make a comeback. If you have any games or ideas that you think need to make a comeback, leave it down in the comment section below. And yeah, that's it for me. Please like, subscribe, I don't know, do what you do. Peace.